We're back, and here's Tony with the new Range Rover.
You might think it's impossible, but there is a way to combine a Jeep and a Jaguar into one vehicle. Put simply, that's exactly what a Range Rover is. A unique combination of utility 4x4 and super luxury sedan. If Rolls-Royce ever built a sport utility vehicle, this is what it'd look like. Built in Britain for over 20 years, the Range Rover was a late arrival in North America for some reason or another, but now they've really taken off. Right now, this is the set of wheels to drive to the polo game or horse show. Even the old Jeep Grand Wagoneer seems to be taking a back seat to the more elegant Range Rover. Like the legendary Land Rover, the Range Rover has a distinguished history, and you'll find them all over the world, from the Arctic to the Gobi Desert. Make no mistake about it, this is no economy 4x4. And if it's pure dollar value you want, stick to Ford, GM, Jeep, or one of the Japanese makers. Range Rovers are expensive and exotic, and even an entry-level model costs 3 times the price of an average 4x4 sport truck. For your money, you get an unmatched image and a utility vehicle bristling with technical novelties. For starters, there's a 3.9-litre, 178-horsepower fuel-injected V8 under the hood, a motor that's been used in everything from Rover sedans to Morgans in the UK. Consequently, it's a very well-proven unit. All Range Rovers come with a 4-speed ZF automatic gearbox, and there is unfortunately no manual option. With this powertrain combination, the $57,876 Range Rover will top 100 kilometers per hour in about 14 seconds. Fuel economy is in the 15 litres per 100 kilometers range. Range Rover bodywork is entirely aluminum, and underneath is a very rugged 14-gauge box section steel chassis. It's this kind of technology that's responsible in part for the Range Rover's heft and price. Suspension is all independent, with a sophisticated ride leveling system and 4-wheel anti-lock disc brakes. Steel-belted radial tires are mounted on 16-inch cast alloy wheels. 4-wheel drive is full-time, and a low range of ratios can be selected. This is a true off-roader that can be flung about in a bush without a care. In low range, it seems capable of climbing up the side of a house. Inside, driver and passengers get pampered like Jaguar occupants. Leather upholstery is standard, and air conditioning and power seats are included too. Carpeting, headlining, and hand-finished wood trim is of a very high quality. I loved the interior, but found it took a couple of days to get used to. You sit very high up, which is a good safety feature. And it has to be remembered that this is not a compact vehicle. It also has a huge turning circle. The only options are a power sunroof and a compact disc player, with no less than 7 speakers. Range Rover has countless other features, some rarely found in vehicles in this class. For most people, this will be overkill. But for those looking for the ultimate in go-anywhere sophistication, it might be the only sport utility product worth considering. The Range Rover has virtually no competition right now and sits alone in its lofty market slot. The Jeep Grand Wagoneer might be an alternative choice, but it's something of an antique these days. Now, I like this, Ted, but I can't forgive them the enormous price.
I agree wholeheartedly. The price tag is excessive on this car, and it's going up, by the way. It's also got bad body roll on the highway. If you take high-speed corners at any kind of speed, it's going to do a lot of this kind of stuff. And the heating controls, ventilation controls, I drove the thing for a week. I never did come to terms with those controls. They were absolutely non-understandable. They were the worst I think I've ever encountered. On the other hand, this thing, as you say, will go anywhere. You can take this into the roughest country you want with the utmost confidence. It'll go anywhere. And that Bose self-leveling system just changes everything for this vehicle. It really is very, very good off-road.
Yeah, I agree to that. I think that one thing this vehicle is, it's a first-class off-road truck. It'll go just about anywhere, mud, snow, whatever you like. As far as the controls go, yes, they're scattered around all over the place. They're hidden behind the steering wheel, they're on the dash. The power window lifts are in a strange position. And
if you talk to Rover about it, like if you can point out to them that the controls are really old-fashioned and there's no tilt or telescoping steering wheel, and they'll say, well, it's heritage, because this vehicle is basically 20 years old. The design. It
is 20 years old, and it's had many changes since then. And of course, there is a new Range Rover called the Discovery, at least a new vehicle like this, which is cheaper, which doesn't mean cheap.
We won't be getting it over here, unfortunately, but I know the one you're talking about. You know, I drove this thing up the side of a mountain in through snow. And the time that I went up there were two other vehicles up there. One of them was a four-wheel drive Suburban, and the other one of all things was a Tercel. Well, they got stuck, and we went right past them. This thing was awesome in snow, I have to say.
I can believe that. I think as far as the reason people pay all this money for these things is they have this luxury cachet, this kind of county look, and the only thing that you can match it with is one of those Mercedes Geländewagens, which are not sold in North America and may never be.
And the thing I like about all that is how many people do you think that buy this vehicle or are capable of buying it are going to take it up in the Tules through the bush? Maybe 10%?
No. Park it by the polo field, Ted. Okay, let me sum up here. What I didn't like was the vast price of the Range Rover. On the plus side, quite a few things. Engine was very nice, if not as powerful as one might expect. Suspension was very good, particularly off-road. And fit and finish was really in the Jaguar or Rolls class almost. Driving dollar value, I can only give this half a tank because of the enormous price tag.